topic for me because I'm a believer of concepts. I mean, true, genuine concepts, not those the bogus ones. We are a case study in Sri Lanka, if at all. Put this whole thing in perspective. Our company was started without any capital, 0-cent investment, because we believed in the concept of creativity, innovation, all that. Okay, for people who do not know us that much about our company and companies, probably people who have only seen me on these social media and websites and some of these clandestine websites, people who think of me as like some Rajapaksha goon or somebody who has got some couple of black money from some Rajapaksha. I want to put this in right perspective. Why people say that? Right. When it started my company, Triad, in 1993, I was a university student. Probably there are many maybe students like me. I can see a lot of young faces. We wanted to start an ad agency because that is the only business that you could start without capital. Go and sell a concept to somebody and make money. When I say that we didn't invest a cent, it is literally no exaggeration, we did not invest a cent. Within months, we managed to collect about 50,000 rupees at that time. About 9 months we took to collect 50,000 bucks, but that is the most important part of our business. That's because we did not spend the money we earned. We try to save them by taking the bus to travel and maybe cutting down all our expenses and whatever. And slowly, we saved money in a petty cash box. Probably Tom knows my partner Varuni, and some of my colleagues, friends know. She didn't understand the concept of saving, so I had to keep this all the cash we collected in a petty cash box locked all the time, because the sponge was next to my office. So we saved money because we had this sort of dream that we could build a company, proper company. And advertising business at that time was one of the most competitive businesses. And in that era, that 1994, 95, most of the local companies were becoming multinational companies by tying up with the multinational counterparts, like McCann. Grant became McCann Erickson, LDB, Leela Dayas Benson joined Lintas, and then Phoenix joined Ogilvy. Like that, all the agencies started joining the multinational companies. So this is where we saw the opportunity. We position ourselves as being a very small company. In fact, my staff was only 3. That is me, my partner, and another person. So that was it. We still have my first colleague or the team member with us. His name is Ajit. So we came up with this concept that we will stay local. We will do only local brands. We will only handle local brands, and our positioning to be on this platform of not handling multinational products. Of course, no multinationals anyway coming to us, because we were so small. We only had a PM or a tea maker at office. So, but we had to say something, and we also said that was the time the advertising industry, even locally, was totally Colombo centric, very elite, very sort of English speaking. Thinking is somewhat in those terms. Briefs were shared at probably at Colombo Club or maybe Hilton, Blue Elephant or something like that at that time. So we wanted to convert this to a local business, like a rice and curry, parippu, the kind of very local thing, which was not appreciated by many of my friends then. Now, of course, I'm sure they understand what we have been doing. So we said no. We went and told the clients, small local clients, medium scale clients like you, we understand you better. We understand the consumer better. We are with the consumer. 86% of the population clearly only speaks Sinhala. The balance is only speaking Tamil. There's nothing called English market in this country. Today there is no market. We all either speak English, Sinhala or Tamil. And people like me, we try hard to speak English like this. And I mean, in my case, I think in Sinhala still, and I talk to you in English because I convert, my ideas to this language. But my imagery is all in Sinhala. Likewise, many of us are the same. And when we talk about this English speaking, it didn't mean anything to me, or the concepts. The creative directors in the advertising industry at that time were all the English writers. So we said, no, we are different. We think in very Sri Lankan imagery, Sri Lankan, like local, gummy, because 86% clearly, they only speak. They don't have access to any other language. They don't understand. So we wrote our ideas in Sinhala first. Previously, it was in English, and then they had translators. The Sinhala copywriters were actually translators in the industry. So this is actually how we started making money. We could not break a bank. We could not do, that time not even, there was no access to any other money other than for that kind of money. So that's where we built the capital. The clients had to come to us, especially the clients who were struggling to come up, like examples, Pereira and Sons. When Pereira and Sons came to us, they had one outlet. And they came to us they are now today talking in terms of more than 200 outlets or $1 billion rupee bottom line or whatever the size. And then if you look at Emerald shirts, same. Rainco umbrellas or Stone and String, or I can talk about many brands, very, very small brands we work with. So we could build small brands. When we were building small brands, they appreciated us more, then they gave us more opportunities. We had bigger margins, and we could invest that money. Within the second year of our operations, we thought we should now backwardly integrate our business. We started our production house. We then started our printing press. We bought a small printing machine, very small one. It's called QRD, people who know about printing. Then to give pre-press to that machine, we bought a pre-press machine. That became another company. Like that, we had 18 companies at the time when we decided that this is enough, and we had three ad agencies under our umbrella. We were doing competitive advertising. It was so good. We became the number one advertising agency in creativity terms for 3 years consecutively until they stopped running that show called the Chili's. So there is no Chili's anymore because they thought this is too much Chili's. However, our success story has 3 stages. First, we decided that we stay local. I think that helped us to create our own niche and our positioning, which nobody could challenge us, and we were the best at it. Truly we are. Truly we know the people, pulse of the people. We are with the people. So then secondly, when it came to the biggest ever challenge that we had to face was to take a decision whether to handle a political campaign or not. Because I thought it's not my trip anymore, because I had done so much politics inside the university and I never could even a lecture theatre or anything. I was the best at doing posters and pasting posters and all that, and that's my background. Not so impressive. So then I thought maybe not. Then I had a chat with my partner. She was also not ready to take this challenge, and it was not a very, very pleasant thing to do political advertising at that time. But with thought at some point we had to take some risk. So we took the risk in 2004, handling a big political campaign for Madam Chandrika Bandaranaike, and that is how the agency became actually rich. And I also became very rich. That's in fact why sometimes I heard that she was angry with me. So she in fact has told that they became rich with my money, which I don't dispute. Everything is declared to the Indian revenue as well. With that money, we in fact started a finance company. It went as Asia Commerce, and then changed the name to Dilith Finance, and later changed to George Stewart Finance. And under US last regime, we had to sell. We didn't want to, but we had to sell. But that is that money. We made big money. So if anybody who wants to know how we made money, this is how we made the first 100 million of triad. First 100 million, or little more than that. 80 million we put in as an investment to this finance company. 75 million was the mandatory capital requirement, and the 5 million rupees as working capital. And that's how we first step in forward integration. We started with that. Then came Mahinda Rajapaksa's campaign in 2005. Again, there was a question whether to handle that campaign or not, because my partner's father was conspiracy with the rest of the people. So I had to take a decision whether to do this or not. I didn't get the agency directly involved. I go on camera on any YouTube, you can post me or you can record me, this is the truth. So we have supported Mahinda Rajapaksa with a campaign called Alut Sri Lanka. And it was I who drove that Lotus that you see, even though it has gone up to the point of having a Lotus tower now. And not even my Rajapaksa enemies would not say that it was not me. I drove that in my own hand, and of course put it to the computer and made it a graphical thing. My colleague of mine called Anton Dhanapati, and I wrote the line, Alut Sri Lanka, it's my line, and we did the campaign. But sadly we did not make money from that campaign. That's the truth, we didn't make money. Because in fact, since I didn't officially get the agency involved, we could not send invoices, as you know. And I got another media agency called Media Factory involved to do the media scheduling. So all the agency commission, everything went to them. But I didn't mind. That was because I wanted your smiling faces today to end the war. I believed in him to end the war. And then we did our second campaign, Api Venuven Api. That again free of charge. We didn't charge a cent from anybody. We did everything on our own. We spent agency money and friends' money, support from a lot of different forces. We put together this campaign. That is why all of you are safe here today and smiling, thinking of starting businesses, going forward, moving forward. This is for the benefit of the people who have forgotten that little past. I'm sorry about that. That was a hard thing. We kept everything aside and we did that campaign when the Sri Lankan military was facing this very tough period. The exact words of the Secretary of Defense at the time said, look, the people who joined, when we put an advertisement, only 2% of the requirement they could attract, and 46% of the people were deserting the army alone. So then only we did this campaign. However, what I'm saying is, you need to know little more about us. Otherwise, nothing will go to your head. Again, you will go Google Dilith Jayaweera comes as one of the money laundering Rajapaksa. Bloody fool, we've been listening to him. Nonsense. What kind of innovations or concept to business? It's not so. We are we can go on record to say we are the cleanest corporate in Colombo. Is what I'm trying to tell you. The cleanest corporate in Colombo. Full stop. I have done 3 campaigns for this last government, this government, after that government. We have been closely associated with them. I haven't done business with the government. Not a single company of ours. We have not taken a single cent commission, a bribe, but not given a bribe, nothing. That's because, this is what I'm going to tell you. Concept. What's a concept? That can make you very, very rich. But many of you probably wouldn't understand the power of concept, because when you see a concept, many of you, maybe probably me also some time ago, didn't see. Now I see. Value of a concept. First of all, for me, what is the potential? What is the maximum potential? If I am going to stitch skirts, 50% of the population only can reach, because only 50% of the people can wear skirts, right? The population. So I will not reach out to the 100% of the population. So if I do condoms, again 50%. Not even 50%. To understand it. So, talking about the potential, so you must see what is the possible, if at all, if I get everybody to drink my drink, how many of them will drink? How many of them will be my market? If I do something for, let's say, some product like, what, only we drink Gull, example. So market is only 20 million population, I mean, it's about 8 million population adults, no? So if I want to reach out to the other markets, probably I'll have to have a better product. So power of a concept comes with the maximum potential of the concept could go to. So that's in fact why when we decided to stay local as a concept, we realized almost 50% of the consumer brands and some service brands are local. So it was no joke. So when you say 50%, you can have exclusively, when other 20 agencies are fighting for the balance 50%. As a market, I'm saying. It made sense to us. So whatever the e-commerce business or whatever the thing that you are having in mind, look at the potential. Sometimes some people come and tell me, I thought of starting a small business, selling maybe t-shirts or something. So I always ask, what could be the maximum potential if you put all your heart and soul into it and you work 24 hours and you build the business, how big that business could be. Like when Volvo went and said, as a brand, the research showed only 20% of the total automobile enthusiasts, the customers, were worried about safety. Others took it as given, granted. But when Volvo came and said, we are the safest car in the world, then they were talking to the 100% of the 20%. So 100% of the 20% is bigger, much bigger than 80% where now 1,000 people are fighting for. So just visit any concept that you have in mind, whether it has the potential. Secondly, if you want to make money within this lifetime and to be rich, and if you believe, I don't believe, if you believe that money can deliver happiness and it will give you access to material things, and that in turn give you happiness, then it is within this lifetime, then you see how much value innovation you can do within that concept. Otherwise, there is no super profit. You want super profit. You want to grow big and grow fast. So to have super profits, that's why most of the businesses we are in, we believe that we can make super profits. Because it's all about innovation, value innovation. If you get into production, let's say garment factory, like many companies run garment factories, of course some factories are doing better than the others, but if you get into the competition of competing in terms of 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents kind of thing, and you take that much longer for you to reach your final destination in terms of making money. So you must always see how much value innovation that you can bring in to the concept so that there is a super profit. Example, if you take a bottle of Coca-Cola, the actual value of that bottle of the Coke is water, which is taken from Kalani River, free, not free, maybe in a Sena pump, maybe whatever, and electricity. But then you put sugar from Peta, now it is even cheaper. Okay, it comes with cocaine and stuff in the same country. Sugar is cheaper. However, so put together and put some coloring and whatever, and then carbon dioxide taken from the air, CO2 goes into that, and H2O becomes black, or whatever, that dark brown water with carbonation inside. The cost, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, maybe 10 rupees at the most. Then where the super profit comes from? They put the label Coca-Cola. That's all super profit. What have they done? They have created a dream. They are willing to pay for dreams than the reality. They are not willing to accept reality and pay a decent price for reality. But for a dream, we are all willing to pay. That is what all the brands in the world do. Now, for whoever who was wondering as to why America is the richest nation in the world, not just because they went and bombed Iraq and he went to all the oil fields and selling ammunitions and whatever, all that is true. They obviously make money by going and bombing innocent nations and taking their oil wells and whatever, all that is true. But on top of that, their biggest income source is the brands that they have built within that nation. From Facebook to Nike to Adidas to KFC to Coca-Cola to 8 out of the top 10 brands in the world, as you all know, are American brands. So no point just saying this, that and the other about them. So if we can't build brands, every one of us can build brands, if at all, if we want. Building brands is possibly the easiest thing, in a way, than building factories where you need huge capital. So like there are brands like example, locally we see brands like examples passing on. We have seen how they grew within a very short period of time. Maybe Dilma for that matter, and there are some local brands. If you take Siddha Labor, with due respect to, if you take Siddha Labor as an example, they sell menthol. They sell in white grease, as they call it, menthol, and then they have a story to tell. Great grandfather has found something under somebody's tree, and that's like really Ayurvedic. I'm not saying that, that we love the brand, I love the brand. That's one such brand, the Sri Lanka can be very proud of, because previously, I don't know, any one of you remember the Vicks, the green color Vicks? They were the market leader. They had almost 90% market share. And how Siddhartha came and depositioned them, basically chased them out of the country, literally, and then challenged the analgesic, the oral tablets. They have actually taken a good share of the oral tablets, analgesics. So it's a huge brand. We have to be very proud of that. But every one of us can do that. Every one of us can do this. Because you really don't need a grandfather. You can find a grandfather. It doesn't have to be your grandfather. It can be somebody's grandfather. You have to have a story. Truly. If you look at most of the brands in the world are that. No brand is real. It's like, there's a story. It only has to be what you call believable. And it doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be scientific. It's just believable. You believe in God. Many believe in God. So, people who believe in God won't challenge God. Likewise, just like that. Coca-Cola. Nobody challenges Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is real. Coca-Cola is God. So why not build a brand? Believe in you. Believe in such things. So this is the third thing I want to tell you. When you get into any business, if you produce products or services to customers or consumers, the chances are that you won't go that far. If you think your idea is to create fans, you can go that far. Because that much distance. Because it means two things. That you believe in it, in the sense you believe in it, doesn't mean that you believe in what you, whatever. You seem to be. You believe in what you do because you want to create fans. Like a singer, like a football player, like sometimes some cricketers, not all of them. They have fans. So some products, or most of the products, or all the products have customers. And some products have fans. So that is where, if at all, if you have any idea to create something big, take this concept to the next level, convert to a business, make sure that you make a good dream around it, a brand around it, something or the other, and you must have that dream. Create fans. Customers can always turn against you. Fans don't. They protect you. So I have some fans. Suddenly you say, no, he's not Rajapaksa's money. Kind of Facebook comments that you see, they're fans. They try to protect us. Take Dherana, an example, a brand to be very proud of what we built. On a platform of Apede Rakagana. Not many Apede have Rakagana find us, but we have tried. Aludde Haragana. But as at last week, official ratings show in most of the bells, 70% of Sri Lankans believe that our product is better, more entertaining, more Apede Rakagana. So they are fans, and then we can see how they protect us. And that is why we are also quite Chandifying. If you watch our news bulletin, we have given a good example to the Sri Lanka television stations. You can be fearless. We really are fearless. That is in fact why a lot of people again say that there is some connection to this previous government. That is why they are showing the the opposition more. It's not so. That's our clear marketing strategy. Because you are interested in this business thing, I can share that with you. It's one decision we took when Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa lost the elections, when he was heavily using two government channels, ITN and Rupawani. The day he lost the elections, he lost these two channels. But 5.8 million people, adults, obviously lost a source where they could see their leader, because others didn't. We showed. So overnight, we have 50% of the audience coming to us. This is the truth. You can see LMRB data, how we were performing up to that date and after that date. So now, if they don't cancel our license, if they don't, we can even take a little more share of the market, because fans keep supporting us. It's not just viewers we have. So, take this as an example, and this is a real example. I don't mince my words. I don't have a reason. I really don't owe anybody anything. I only want to share this with people like you. I like to talk to people like you because we still have the opportunity to create brands. Local brands, international brands, not just going and working for somebody, not going to university in Kalani or Piradini or whatever, and then go to Lipton Circus and say, give us jobs, Kakia Denu. No need, because we really can. We are an example. That is in fact why I am very, very upset that when they say that these guys have gone behind politicians and whatever, that nonsense, and that discourages a lot of potential future business people like us. Then they think, if you want to be successful, you have to go behind somebody or cut a big deal or something like that. It really doesn't have to be so. Most of the successful people, maybe most of you all won't even know how successful they have become, because they are not maybe as vociferous as me and not like very rustifying like me and just talking nonsense. I don't care about my image. Some people are like, they're careful and they really want to be a bit decent. But I suppose in my case it's not so. I really want to tell this true story because I have no plan to become Devadan Nilame or anything like that. So by telling the true story and sharing this story, and in fact, if I am successful, somewhat successful, is because I met some people like me then, and who were sharing these kind of stories, and we used to listen to these stories, and we have seen how it has impacted me. One such example, very quickly to tell, there was a professor, controversial professor, not many people like him to date. His name is Professor Nali De Silva, from Colombo University. He is the one who first told, when I was in grade 10, I was just about to do A-levels. I said, there is something called called a local national ideology based on the principle of four-ended arguments, whatever you call it, logic. Now today I apply that theory, and when some say there is, okay, to further simplify that, it says there can be things, there can't be things, there can be area in situation where there can be things in between, not really in those two ends. However, that impacted me, a very simple theory. Today we apply and it has worked for us. So likewise, I'm telling you, a value innovation is a concept of making successful business. And if at all, if you get into any other business other than for that, like, you know, for a fact, when you are looking at e-marketing, the kind of easy route, I see less possibilities unless you have a concept behind that and creating true value behind that. Then it is not giving you the best potential in terms of achieving your dreams. Then the last thing I want to tell you before getting to any other discussion, profit for us, truly, genuinely, it's no exaggeration, this is the truth. Deyyan Mahanse Palla. This is the truth because nobody believes this whenever we say that. We in fact had a payoff, internal payoff, to say profit is a byproduct. It's not the product. It's not what we are going behind. We never went behind that. And to date we don't go behind that. It's of course based on my personal simple life philosophy, which I am very proud of. That philosophy more than anything else. I believe that, you know, these material things and, you know, money, all that cannot give you happiness. It's based on a simple Buddhist philosophy of, you know, you live the moment. I enjoy this moment. I have no faith in the next moment when I'm going down in that lift. I may be found at Raymond's in 10 minutes. That's the truth. So I enjoy this moment. And I thoroughly enjoy this moment meeting you guys and telling this story, because moment ago is gone, moment to come I have no idea. So when you do business, it's the same. You have a 20-year plan, God's sake, don't have plans. Because whenever you have a plan, everything goes wrong and it gets screwed up. You know, you get caught and you everything, you know, you meet with accident, there's a cop and then you get caught drunk driving, you have no license the next day, you are in the cop shed because you had a plan for the next day. So don't have plans. Whoever who had big plans have never achieved plans. I know that. I mean, you can always, you know, most of these autobiographies that you read are all bullshit. They're bullshit. You know, they're all reverse strategies. I can write a book, how Dilith Jayaweera became a successful businessman and how I strategized from grade 1. You know, I sat with my mother and I was like discussing these concepts. Nonsense. Nothing of the sort happened. You know, everything, in fact, seriously, in my life, everything had been a fluke. I'm sure everybody else's lives, all these successful people, so-called successful people, are the same. So autobiography is another way to maybe probably make a last bit of money that you want to make. You know, go in that brand new Jags that Raymond's have got, 2 of them they have got, brand new Jags. So if you want to go in that and pay an advance payment, you will write an autobiography and sell it for people like you and make money. And you think, my God, this is how you strategize. Dilith Jayaweera, great man, sat with the mother, had a business plan. Doesn't work like that. Really. Have a plan for the day. That itself is too much. Have a plan for this moment. Be honest to your colleagues. Be honest to your friends. Be truly honest to every one of them. They feel it. You try to cheat them, every one of them know this is all bullshit. If you look at our company, staff turnaround is what? Maybe less than 5%. Doesn't work like, you know, most of the companies. I don't believe in HR departments. I've gone on record to say people have got upset with me. This HR, some Congress, that criticized me for saying that, you know, human resources cannot be strategically managed. These are not machines. They can only be managed being true. So you have 2 partners in life, because each and every moment is very precious. For you to achieve your plan, you screw your friend and cheat your employee or team member. No point achieving anything in life. No point. You must have your vision statement hung in your bedroom, not in your boardroom. You should be able to go to bed and look at your vision statement. You must have a vision statement for your life, for yourself, for this moment, not for these large corporates, and to hang that big vision statement with a mission statement. Fuck. It doesn't work like that. It's all bullshit. You have a vision here, you can be very proud of. You didn't screw anybody. This moment I didn't lie to you, I'm happy. I could have lied to you. I could have exaggerated things, I could have created that big persona, big businessman, whatever. It's not so, no? You're all having a good time. It's all about having a good time. Any concept that you have in mind should finally deliver. This is the most important essence. Happiness. As we say at one of our group company, Citrus, about happiness moments. A moment only can take you to the next moment. Business is also like that. This moment you make your customer happy, then becomes a fan. To a point. Some fans become a bit troublesome after a while. You have to manage them. But you create fans. And if you look at most of these big businesses, big brands around that, some good stories, untold stories, and some stories are some big sad stories. People have achieved things, to look back to see you have not achieved anything. Then no point. It doesn't make sense. So that's why I don't read all these American textbooks where they say that, this is how you do this shit. It doesn't work like that. It really has not worked like that, and either there's a CIA behind that. This Mark Zuckerberg, he never became gods like whoever it didn't work like that. They have been heavily funded. I go on his Facebook, you can put me, and I challenge him. These are bullshit stories. Try to be simple, come up with a small concept. You want to be big. Every one of us want to be somebody. For sure. You don't want to be nobody. You want to be somebody. So how? How? And you have to be relevant. We don't live in American society. We can't say just profit maximization. This is how it works, and this is how it works, and this is the formulae, and this, finally when you go to your grandmother, and your grandmother doesn't respect you, right? You just come in a big car, you've forgotten that, you didn't have a junk here, you